Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. All Things Middle-earth here with a video looking at what faction and which commanders I'm going to be using in Season 3. So if you were not in our live stream and didn't see which commanders I started using, stay tuned. I'm going to cover all that. And it's probably not what you expect. So I think you'll be surprised here. Okay, so if you kept up on the YouTube, I put out a couple of polls. So if you've seen those polls, you may know where this is going. But I couldn't decide what faction I wanted to play for, and so I decided, based on your votes, I put a poll out on YouTube, and I gave a few options like Loth, Erebor, and Gondor, and I would play thematically with commanders that kind of fit with those factions. And I gave a fourth option, where I would roll or spin a wheel and let fate decide what faction I was going to play as. Now, this one ended up turning out a little bit differently, and I'll explain in a second, but basically, our first roll was Linden, which was the faction we wrapped up in last season after getting pretty decimated all season long. So I wasn't super excited about that, and we had talked about giving myself one extra mulligan roll. So we got one reroll. We re-rolled Linden and landed ourselves in Gondor. So Gondor is the faction that I picked last night, but that's actually not where we are right now, and I'll explain why after we talk about the commanders that I got for Season 3 that we're going to be playing with. So in addition to rolling randomly to pick what faction we play as, we also rolled for the 6 commanders we're going to be focusing on primarily this season. Now, that doesn't mean after those 6, we're not going to do more and look at more stuff, but these are the 6 that we have to focus on to start out with. So here is the first roll for the season, and you'll see in a second why I was pretty surprised by what we got. Here we go. Our Tier 1 commander spin. Let's see who we get. Oh, you know what? I want Merry and Pippin. Okay, all right. We got Haldir for our first Tier 1 commander. So we rolled Haldir for our Tier 1 commander, which was not a bad option by any means. I did have quite a few items saved up, and with some whaling out that we did during the live stream, I was able to get my Haldir up to Respect 13. So pretty crazy stuff here. There's a good chance we're going to be going for his R10 item as well and trying that out. But for Haldir, we're going to be focusing primarily on Guide with 1 point in March Warden and our 15 points in Galadrim. As we get access to Eagles and some better range units, we're going to start going also into Sylvan Elf with Beast Training and Forest Agility. But for now, that was our first commander. And honestly, it kind of just went downhill from here. So buckle up because it kind of gets rough. Let's go. That was so close. We got Frodo and Sam, but it was one tick away from Denethor. Why did I put them next to each other? All right, so as you can see for our second commander, we rolled Sam and Frodo, which we were joking about probably being one of the worst options. I think Denethor being the one we didn't want, which we actually came dangerously close to several times. But we did get Sam and Frodo, so I was pretty excited to give them a try. Again, we're going to be using them all season, get them to level 50. We're going to have some good gear on them. We're going to see if we can get the Madness and the Stun to work well with other troop types we have running with them. But that is the second commander we are playing as. Here we go. Elrond's the only Tier 5 I don't have, so that would actually be a bummer. And Aragorn King of Men is very low respect, so that's going to be hard to get going. Honestly, best case here is going to be Gandalf or King of the Dead, especially King of the Dead because Oathbreakers are nearby. And I wouldn't be terribly upset with Radagast. Let's do it. Here we go. Oh, come on. I just said, I was just like, yeah, Elrond's probably the worst one I could get in terms of where his respect is at, and yada, yada, yada. Oh, boy. And the third commander, probably the only Tier 3 commander I have, I believe, that is not at Respect 5, so probably the worst option is Elrond. Now, Elrond's my most recent pull. I think he's an amazing character in terms of, like, in the Lord of the Rings and in the books, but in the game, he's just not that amazing. I don't have his R5 unlocked yet, but we rolled him. We're going to use him, so my goal this season for him is to get him to R5 and find the best build possible for him and really see what use we can get out of him. Bear in mind, these were our first 3 commanders, and we were sitting in Gondor currently, so a couple of our commanders being Haldir and Elrond, we're going to really benefit from Elven units and ranged units, and we're sitting in Gondor, so that was not an amazing set of draws for us there. Here we go. Spinning the wheel. Sleepy Night Gaming, what's going on? Oh, man. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, okay. It's very close to Denethor again. So we got Balin. Okay, so our fourth commander, we waited a little while to roll this when we played with those other three for a little bit. And our fourth one I was very happy with. We got Balin here. The only downside to Balin is he's one of my lower respect tier 2 commanders, but I do think he has a lot of potential. We're going to be running the Revivalist Endurance Blood commander damage build with him. So he was one that didn't really have any troop-specific restrictions. He could get going right away. He's a commander that deals damage himself. So he was going to work kind of regardless of where we were playing. So he was probably our best roll thus far, I would say, based on where we were playing with the faction. But here we go. Commander number 5. Here we go. This is all commanders that I've got. Oh, man. Elro here. Now, our 5th commander was also another one that I had at a lower respect. I believe I have him at respect 4 here for Elro here. This was our 5th commander, sorry. We did our 5th and 6th rolls after we did a little bit of chest opening to see if we could get any of the new commanders, which we did end up getting Celeborn, the tier 2 commander, but we did not get any new tier 3 commanders or anything. So we added Celeborn to our wheel, but we did not pull any tier 3 commanders. But we did get Elro here as our 5th commander, so goal for him is going to be to get him up to at least R5, and again, try and find the best use for him. But again, another Elven commander. He's not super limited to any faction. He actually does really well with different types of units, but still, it felt like we kept getting these Elven commanders one after another, and it was tough there. Last spin, here we go. Our 6th and final commander. Again, we're at over 6 hours here, so thank you so much to everyone who's been hanging out. I hope you've had a fantastic time. Honestly, should we switch factions to Loth? Good gracious. Now, I'm pretty happy we actually got Celeborn, because we did get a lot of stuff for him. He's a brand new commander. We'll get a good try for him. Oh my goodness. The elves. 4 of our 6 commanders are elves. I know there was a lot of them, but still. And last but not least, after pulling him, full pulling Celeborn from a chest, I put him randomly on the wheel, as you just saw, and we actually rolled him. So he's our 6th commander we'll be starting out with. And his R5 ability, we had enough points to get him up to R5, is for March Warden specifically. So again, 4 of our 6 commanders were Elven, and many of them were going to benefit from ranged troops and elves, and even March Warden specifically, who we were not going to have access to until about Town Hall 7, I believe, in Gondor. So after some discussion with our live chat.
Meanwhile.
Are you kidding me? Right? Oh, I guess. We decided that it was going to be best to switch factions, and so we hopped over to Lothlorien. Now, yeah, I ended up basically just picking Loth because it worked best, and I think if I were to do this again on my evil account, for example, I might roll for the commanders first and then pick what faction best suits them. But again, this was just my way of adding a little bit of chaos to the start of something. Again, we streamed for almost 7 hours last night. We had a great time. We opened a lot of chests and had a lot of good stuff going on. So again, I wanted to make this video because a lot of people kept asking me, why did I pick such interesting commanders? Because if you look at the 6 that I mentioned at surface value, they're maybe not the best commanders in the world, and that would be a fair observation. But we're going to try and get the most out of them. We've got our best gear on them, and we're going to see what we can get done. But again, thank you so much for watching. That's going to do it for me in this one, and I'll see you all in a future video.